TV with me, Si Pittaway. Today on the show, I'm in the indoor range, and instead of using the Virac or the Ultra, I've got my new rifle, which is a Sandwell Field Sports BSA r10 Mark II, purchased last week from Tony Wall himself. This rifle has had some custom work done on it. You can see it's had the shroud removed and the barrel's been screw cut by John Boker. It's got a Virac silencer on. The stock's all been nicely stained and made darker. On top I've got sports match mounts with the Hawk Night Eye 4-16x50 AOIR scope, which is a real good scope and I enjoy using it. Underneath here I've got the deburn tilting bipod, and to carry the rifle in the field I've got an Allen canvas mount with quick release swivels, which is a real nice and comfy sling. And what I intend to do today though is test it in the indoor range where there's no wind, and I'm going to be using my preferred pellet here, which is the Super Field pellet, and these are 4.51mm. I've got my adapter here for my scope cam, and I'll put the scope cam on and we'll do a little bit of a group or a couple of shots with the scope cam on, and then we'll do some without the scope cam and see what sort of groups you can produce. So stay tuned, keep watching, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, I brought the Sandwell Field Sports BSA r10 Mark II to the indoor range at work, and I've got a small target card set out at 27 yards. And in the middle you can probably just make out a tiny dot. That's probably the size of a 177 pellet, and it's a red mark from a pen. I'm going to have a 5-shot group and see how the rifle does with RWS Super Fields at 4.51mm. Three shots gone through the exact same hole. Yeah, it's 5 shots, probably made a hole the size of maybe 2 pellets diameter. We'll zoom back out and then we'll have a look at it. This is a 27-yard group with the Sandwell Field Sports BSA r10 Mark II. And obviously I'm shooting through scope cam. This is that group I've just shot then with the Sandwell Field Sports BSA r10. You can see it with 5 shots, and if I zoom in slowly now, you'll see I've placed a new 177 pellet in the hole what the 5 shots made. So it's only like a pellet and a 1/4 width diameter total hole. That's very, very accurate. You can see how good these R10s are. I mean, really, you can't ask for any more than that. Really pleased with that. Put some mat pins into a target card. The mat pins are little blue ones, and they're actually smaller than a drawing pin in diameter. So I'm going to have a couple of shots, see how many it takes me to hit them with the R10. There. 5 shots, 5 hits. The top of those mat pins that I'll show you in a minute, when I walk up the other end of the range, are probably the size of a 177 pellet head, or maybe only a slight bit smaller, correction, bigger. So I'll zoom out now and we're going to have a look at them. Well, there's the results then of them 5 shots. You can see the first 2 have basically made small holes. That's probably because the actual pins were sat really flush in the card, and the last 3 must have been slightly not sitting flush because they've made quite a big entry wound. What I've done here then is stuck a mat pin in a piece of wood, and on top I've sat an RWS Super Field pellet in 177 calibre. Right, I've left that 177 pellet now on top of the mat pin, and I'm going to zoom in slowly so not to lose focus. And I'm going to try and give you a demonstration of pellet on pellet. And I'm going to try and knock that pellet off the top of that mat pin without moving the mat pin, which is going to be a lot easier said than done, I should imagine. There you go, first shot. Quite happy with that. Right, what I'm going to do now to finish off with is at the 27-yard part on the range, I've hammered a really tiny, thin pin into a piece of wood. It's that thin and small. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up. Hopefully when I edit it and it's on a bigger screen you can. But you'll see the A4 piece of card there, and then along the bottom of the A4 piece of card you can see a darker piece of wood. It's halfway along that piece of wood, just sticking up. I'm going to see how many shots it takes me to hit it. It's really, really hard to see. Hopefully through the scope I can see it better. there you go. First shot. Hit the pin and actually knock the pin, what looks to me through the scope, sideways through the card. So we're going to have a look at that now. I'll also show you the pin. This is the target end then. You can see where the pellet hole is to the left. That's bang in line with where the pin was. And if you look to the right, you can see where the pellets hit the pin and actually knocked it through sideways through the wood. Here's a view then of one of them pins I've just shot at in relationship to a 177 pellet. What you can see now I've zoomed in is the pin is probably 3 times thinner in diameter than the 177 pellet. This is the first attempt with the r10. It's at 37 metres. That was a nice clean kill. I even heard the crack as the pellet struck the brain. These are just over 50 metres, but there's a slight breeze going left to right. I'll have to give them some windage. Like that. He's down. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Vermin Hunters TV, and I think you'll agree this little r10 Mark II from Sandwell Field Sports is definitely a formidable rifle, especially when it will come to shooting vermin later on with it. So, from me and David, thanks for watching, and look out for future productions of Vermin Hunters TV. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe now by hitting the subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.